Okay, great. Okay, so we're back.
Okay.
Okay, but Shkoimo. All right. So what's that got? People here with the Mishnah, just read it again.
Yeah, read it again.
Read it again. Okay. The subject of the Mishnah is that we have waters, different waters that are getting grouped together before they get into the mikvah, and the halacha is being that if they got grouped in the proper way, so then they'll be kosher, and if not, not. That's the subject. They got mixed together in the chutzner pre-entering the pit.
Which Mishnah are we?
Dalet.
Dalet.
Yeah.
Dalet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They got mixed together in a pre-pit or in a, well, let's see how they translate it in this. Where were they? On the steps of the cave.
No, they call it a cavity.
Courtyard
Has a cavity.
In the cavity of the steps of their cheap. I could have done better than that. Anyways, but these are all external to the pit. So the halacha is imroiv min kosher. Even though you have, let's say, 19 lugim of she'uvim, and gimel lugim of she'uvim passos. If rov is kosher, then it's kosher. If rov is pasul, it's pasul. Mechza. If it's 50-50, pasul. What's the svara behind this idea? So we have two different things converging at once. One was they have that they didn't fall. We say gimel lugim she'uvim that fall into a mikvah are a problem. Where did the gimel lugim she'uvim fall into?
Something else.
Something else, right? Now, not only that, they fell into something that was moving. They didn't fall into a stagnant thing. You know, it's not only wasn't it a mikvah, it was zeichelit, right? Because the other waters are running together. So, and this is the explanation which I found the most appealing. This is the Chazon Ish explanation. I think that I was pretty close to this myself. The whole pool of shuvim falling into a mikvah. When it falls into stagnant water, it can passel that water. Because shuvim passels a mikvah. But when you have zeichalim, so zeichalim is a non-mikvah entity at this point. It's a non-mikvah entity at this point. You can't passel it because you can't make it into anything because it's not in a receptacle. It's not in a place. You people understand what I'm saying? Yechiel, did you understand?
I understood that the Rav was saying that, I mean, but what I don't understand is that shuvin are pasul, unless we're going to say that when it hit and mixed with the kosher water. So this is like, well, what do they call that when it goes on the ground? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, but I'm not up to that part yet. But that's called Hamshacha, which you're going to discuss.
Hamshacha, right.
I'm not discussing that. But it has to passel stagnant water. The water that it's hitting is running water.
How do you see that from the Mishnah?
Yeah, read it.
I don't see the word zochel. It's in there.
That is arvo b'chotzer. How
But how do you know that it's flowing? Maybe it's stagnant.
Then how to get into the mikvah?
Yeah. Continue, read the Mishnah. Translate the Mishnah. Sheffer, read.
Mayim she'uvim umegashomishins arba v'chotzer. They mixed in the water.
In the chotzer.
Yeah, in the yard. I guess in the ground. Uva'uka, they call it a cavity. Ba'al malos ha'ma'ara, or on the steps of the cave. Where does it say that it's flowing?
No, 1 second. And then, so where's the mikvah?
Oh, that's my next question.
No, this means it is happening pre
On the way.
into the mikvah.
On the way to the mikvah.
That's okay. You're filling that in. Okay. I don't
If you-
see that. I could see if there's a mikveh there, there's a stagnant water, there's rainfall, and then 2 months later, this water that's in the cavity fills in and it goes at a later point into
So then it wouldn't be called, I would not have called it nisarvu. Then you have one fell into the other. There would have to be one that's the incumbent and one that's the aggressor over here. Right? When we say they're nisarvu, it sounds like they're both on the move and they bumped into each other like dodgem cars.
Okay.
That's what nisarvu means. Otherwise, one came into the other.
Okay, so the nisarvu. Okay, fine.
No, but you want to know where I get it from? I think that the Rav says it.
It doesn't matter where. The question is where he got it from. I don't see the word Zohar.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay,
But,
fine.
but I'm explaining that the implication of the Mishnah
Okay,
is that
okay,
this
thank
is
you.
pre-mikvah activity.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yes, thank
this is
you.
what the Chazon Ish says: to passel your megashamim, they have to be in the mikvah mode, which is stagnant, and when they're in the flowing mode, so then they can't become puzzle. They're not in the right mode for anything to happen to them. So therefore, even though you'll have gimel lugim falling into it, it's not going to cause anything to happen. Now this actually answers a question which I had, which this kind of question I don't usually like to ask because I don't have an answer for it. But now that I have an answer for it, so I'm going to ask it. I have flowing water. So from the beginning of the flow until the end of the flow, I have 21 saw, let's say. But the water is only mixing with a part of it. It's not mixing with all of it.
Right.
Where is it mixing? Are you people with me? One second. Well, we have a Y. Yeah? Okay, this one is Shuvim, and this one is Megashamim. From here till here is 21 saw of the Megashamim, and from here to here is 19 saw of Shuvim. How much water mixed?
Stagnant? It's a stagnant water?
No, they're running.
So how are you measuring how much is there?
That's exactly what I just asked you.
No, so I understand what the question is here.
If I would start, I know because I pre-measured it. I know that this one is 21 saw of Megashamim. The other one is 19 saw of Shuvim. And now I let them run. And they met over here and carried on together. How much was this Arev? Are you going to say that this and this were also this Arev?
What do you mean also?
Or only over here was this Arev?
If they weren't, then they didn't make it to the mikveh.
They will. You have no patience. Wait
No,
till
one second. The Rav is asking, do they have to mix before they spill into the mikveh?
Yes, that's I'm asking. How much is it? You go if im haroiv. When is it roiv?
Before they mix, it's not called nitarev.
So that means from here to
Yes.
here we're talking
Yes.
about roiv?
Yes.
Not from here to here.
Yes.
Okay. I enjoy what you're saying, and I want to be mechadesh, not like you. No, I think what you're saying is the pashtus. I want to be
Isn't it called,
mechadesh, not.
it has to get into the mikveh before anything. It's called anything.
No.
No, but not only that, our Mishnah says exactly the opposite. Our Mishnah says everything is taken care of before it gets into the mikveh, and it falls into the mikveh as kosher water.
Right.
The Mishnah says that before it came into the mikveh, it became 100% kosher water. That's the point of the Mishnah.
But there was more Mayim Shuvim than Mayim Geshamim.
No. It says it's talking about if there's more, then you're right, then it's puzzle. If there was more, then let's talk a puzzle. But I asked the question, more is from here to here, or more is from here to here? Where is the more from? So I'm willing to hear whatever you're going to say. I say, what I want to be machadish to you is the question shtuyot. The question is wrong. Because after the yesod, which I just said, it's irrelevant. The point is that once the water is running, so it can never
Possible.
it. So it only becomes relevant when it came in.
It only becomes relevant when they meet. That's what they're saying.
No, even when they meet, it doesn't make a difference.
Or even before. In other words, as soon as because it was running. But
Once it's running, so I don't have a problem with parceling. And then we look at what you have inside the bar.
Right.
How is anything possible before it gets in the mikveh?
How what?
How is anything possible before it gets in the mikveh?
Why not? If you had, that's the pashtus you would say. If you had the shuvim hit the rainwater, it should parcel it. That's what
Why?
you should say.
If it's more, you mean?
Even if it's gimalugim. No, if it's
If it's
gimalugim.
even.
If I have gimalugim of rainwater that fell, that shuvim that fell into my 20 my other stuff, it's just like it fell into the pit. Why should it make a difference where it hit? Before we learned this Mishnah, we knew that Gimel Lugim Shuvim parcels a mikveh if it gets there before 40 saw.
Gimel
This
lugim
Mishnah is machadish a whole new idea.
says 3 lugim that fall in a mikveh.
Forget about what it says here. Before we learned here today, if I would have
Not
asked
here,
you,
not
No,
here.
he's asking. We always said Gimel Lugin Shuvin fell into a mikveh that isn't full yet.
correct.
Okay.
So that means you could have 45 saw, and Gimel Lugim fall in, and it's possible.
No, not 45.
Why
45.
45?
I meant 35. I meant 35.
Right.
So 35 saw, and Gimel Lugim should fall in, and it's possible.
If 3 lugim fell in the mikveh, then it's possible.
Why did where'd you get that word mikveh from?
What is the klal? Shloshah lugim naflu mikveh. It's possible.
Right.
That's what it says.
That we understand that. But that I understood until today that that's because that's the natural situation of where they're going to meet.
I mean, where are you going to meet? That's okay. I don't understand the question. But okay.
The question is like this: is there a difference whether they meet on the move or they meet in the stagnant, one stagnant over the other?
You mean if they meet before the mikveh or in the mikveh?
Yes. But not only before the mikveh, I said while they're running or once they're stationary.
You mean if it's
One is
stationary before it falls in the mikveh?
One is stationary. If one would be stationary, in other words, if you had she'uvim that fell into a puddle I had a little puddle in my backyard, and that had rainwater, and now into it fell she'uvim, I contend, based on this Chazon Ish, that it would become puzzle. And even though now someone's going to splash it all into the mikveh, that's not going to help. Because it became puzzle. You'd have to have milui v'oid.
Why wouldn't you say that the mayim shuvim that falls into your little puddle, if there's rov shuvim and it's possible, if there's rov mayim that's from the geshamim in the puddle, then that would be.
I would have said that, but I'm much smarter than that because I already know that gimel lugim puzzle.
That's only excuse me for using the word, only in a mikvah, but not in a puddle.
That's what it is. What's the thing in a mikvah and a puddle?
The amount of water.
Right. So if it's less than 40 saw, and
That's what we have a
you
Mishnah.
puzzle it.
We have a Mishnah that says the first Mandiyamar says that gimel lugim apostles at any. That's what we paskin, and the other one says if it came in tchila that apostles equal to revius. But we know that we're speaking about even a small amount. That we know that's a given from earlier Mishnayos.
That's Mishnah Gimel Beis.
Could be. I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't have.
Abor shebachatzav v'nafalo social lugim la'olam hu b'pisulo.
You have mili v'oid, or sometimes you have.
Yeah. So right, if it falls in a bar, then it's puzzle. Okay.
Right.
So
now our case is a different case. It's not falling into a bar. It's doing something while both of them are moving.
So why was okay?
I'm just pointing out a difference. That's one difference.
Okay, yeah.
Now, besides that, there's this other difference of the thing that you people were mentioning called hamshacha. That there could be a you want to call it a tahira process, or I don't know what you call it, a take off the psul process. I don't know what you call it, whatever, some kind of legitimizer.
It's a not puzzle process.
Unpuzzle. It's not a not puzzle.
A not puzzle process.
A deep
makes it
puzzle.
It's only puzzle if it pours into the mikveh, not if it's nimshach into the mikveh.
No.
It's only puzzles a mikveh if it pours in.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but the point over there is that the hamshacha actually makes the water kosher, so to speak.
Or it doesn't make the mikveh puzzle.
It makes the mikveh kosher. That water is counted as mikveh water. If you have one, no.
It's not shuvin anymore.
It's shuvin, but it doesn't puzzle the mikveh.
No.
But if it doesn't puzzle the mikveh, that means that you don't have to get rid of the other kosher water. But you would still have to have, let's say, 21 saw of kosher water and 19 saw of this hamshacha water. Right. According to your definition, it doesn't puzzle. That would just mean you have to put in another 19 saw of kosher water.
It's not puzzle water then.
And it's water that can be used as kosher water.
It can be added to the mikveh, yeah.
It could create a mikveh.
It can't create a mikveh. It has to be rove of non.
Oh, Hashem Yishmor. You know what? The 21 saw also can't create a mikveh. It still has to have more. But you can create a mikveh with this water that was shuvin.
Can hamshacha? No, you can make 40 saw of hamshacha and it works.
That I didn't say. That's a machlokes rishonim. That I didn't say.
That's what he's pointing out.
I understand, and I'm pointing out something different. That it's even though you don't have that, you still have that it becomes a creator of a mikveh. Right. It's not all or nothing.
It's malin, right? It's malin mikveh.
Right? It's not that it just it doesn't puzzle. It's a positive, and maybe it's not a full positive, but it's a positive. Are you with us, parrots?
I hear what you're saying. It's one of the things that can be mala and it can be morated. Right.
Okay. All right. That's true. All right. Let's just read the Mishnah again. I don't get too far over here today. Imarav ben kosher, imarav ben apostle. Mechsa, apostle. That's easy. That they mixed before getting to the mikveh. However, now I don't know how this English guy translates this because this is a big discussion how to read the next words. If they were coming in independently, without mixing, or do we say they're coming in independently without hamshacha? Which way are we supposed to read the Mishnah? Okay, you guys got the difference between the different ways to read the Mishnah. There are two variables that happened in the Reisha. One was that we had hamshacha, and the other one was that they were nisarev. In the Sefer of Mishnah, we have the exact lack of both of them, or lack of one of them, and we're not sure which one we're lacking. That's the question: how to read the Mishnah. Okay, let's see the Rav, and then we'll take it from there. The Rav says as follows: Shenesaru b'chotzer u'uka. Guma shamai biskaptzim bo, some kind of a little thing that the water gets together there. O amayles hamara umisham nimshechu v'yardu l'mikvah. So that's where I get it from. Imroi ben akosher kigoyin she'esim achasa mehem megishamim v'teisha esrei b'mishuvim kosher. Why? It didn't say why. Are you mekach l'teichamayim shelo yardu l'mikvah al yedei hamshacha derech chotzer v'uka u'malis hamara el min hakelim atzmo are you mekach l'teichamikvah So he does not discuss anything about the tarubas at all. He just discusses that it fell straight in, right? In other words, he had no hamshacha. That's his subject, the Rav's subject. And in case you missed it, he's going to say it in a minute. If not possible, the shlosh lugamayim shuvim place kisharach lo mikvah shaloi kederach hamshacha. Avol derech hamshacha. Ein poislim achiyo mayim shuvim afilu mayim shuvim be'atzon shaloi nisar b'ksherim. Now here he says, and this whole Mishnah is really superfluous in speaking about the nisarbu, because whether they're nisarib or not nisarib, if you have hamshacha, it's kosher. So this is really, he just said that which the Reisha spoke about, that they were had hamshacha, is just superfluous. Now the Mefarshim, many Mefarshim don't like that, and I'm sure that you understand why. Okay. So this is a problem because why should that be so to speak?
But he's saying that I could take a kli and take make shamim and pour it into the mikvah?
One more time. I don't understand the word you said. Take a kli.
So he's
take ma'im she'uvim.
Going mikvah shesh b'chof al sar make shamim. I understand. So then he's imam b'chasef.
So now you could take 19 saw and pour it on the ground in front of the mikvah and have it roll in. I don't know what you want to call it exactly. And that would be kosher. And so, in other words, what he just said, that which it says in the Mishnah that we're speaking about, that they mixed, that mixing business is irrelevant. It's not a player. Very shvach pshat, right? We don't like that pshat.
Wow.
Right? Why would we have to have such a case? So we'll see. Maybe the Mishnah Achrona, he wants.
Why don't we like that pshat?
Because why did the Mishnah have to add in a piece that's irrelevant?
There are
two
different cases here.
What?
The first
He's explaining the case to the Mishnah.
The first one, there wasn't 21 before any of the others came in. They were mixed on the way in the Reisha.
But he says the fact that they were mixed is irrelevant.
How does he say that?
Why does he say that?
How does he say it's irrelevant?
But what's that? Read the sentence that I just said.
You can't take half a sentence.
No. It's not a half a sentence. And that was an explanation of the Reisha of the Mishnah.
What's Kagon?
Whatever you want it to be. It's fine.
Kagon is part of the sentence. The 21,
what does it say?
Pouring it that way, the 21 had to have been there already.
Whoa, we spoke about having to have been there already?
That's what he's talking about in the Sefer.
No. We didn't speak about that yet. We're gonna speak about that soon. We didn't speak about that yet at all.
So I'm lost here. What are we talking about?
Was there any reason that we had to speak about the waters mixing together? Could I have had two parallel streams going into the mikveh at the same time? Or do they have to intersect?
I think, isn't that what he's saying? That if they did not mix beforehand, you have to be sure that the 21 saw were there first. If they were mixing beforehand, then you don't. You just then make sure that the end result is rove.
I don't know if that's what he's saying. I don't know if that's what he's saying.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a different question. That's another question which the Mishnah doesn't discuss. In Shulchan Aruch, that's discussed. The Mishnah doesn't discuss which one came first. Medafka. You were medayik. It's a very.
I'm just saying what the Rav. This is what the Rav says.
Can I try? Can I try for a second? I think what's happening is that I think what the Rav is asking is that if in the end of the day, as long as you have 21 saw of gshamim in there already, then I could just put in 19 saw with hamshacha. So what's the chiddush of the mixing together?
The mixing, correct. That's my question. Now, I want to amend what you said, Yechiel. I don't want to get involved in the 21 saw is already there. I don't know that makes
It has to be because in the Sefer, that's definitely what the Bartanura says. It has to be. I mean, that's what he says.
We'll soon see. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. That's a subject which I didn't want to open yet. What was in the mikveh first? But the idea of mixing has nothing to do with that aspect. The question is there any point in it being mixed? Says the Rav, no. We did not gain anything by being mixed. Whether the kosher water has to be first or it doesn't, that's a good question. But that's not the subject which he's addressing.
But that
we
might be.
Parents did not address any issue of why we spoke about it mixing. All you had to do was speak.
I certainly did.
Parents is claiming that if they're mixed, then you don't have to worry about the Meg Shaman being in there first.
Does that say
when
that
you're not
anywhere?
mixed, then you do have to worry about it.
Does it say that here?
That's
what it sounds like it's saying.
Right, because he says.
I'm trying to point to the Rav.
Because the last sentence of the Bartanura on the Sefer. He says, if it has 21
where are you?
There's the last sentence of the Bartanura on the Mishnah. On the Sefer, right?
Let's read the whole thing. That's international. That's irrelevant to what was in the mikveh. Right? Without it being nisarim, shaloi nisaru ksherim, ve'im poisim derech hamshocha ela b'roi.
So now it could go from here. Could go mikveh shesh b'chof al sa meg shamim. You need the chof al, but that's a question. I know why he has to do that. But I'm fine. But he says it has 21 of meg shamim in there already. So then he can use hamshocha to add another 19.
Yeah.
We had a.
That means the 21 is in there first.
We had a mission.
First, I would just wonder if I would say a die kid in Lumdis, I would say Kugoy means that it's not the only case.
Right.
But we're going to see. This is a Machlokes Rishonim, this question.
Okay, well, he picked a limiting case.
What?
He picked a limiting case. If he wants to make it a bigger chiddush, he shouldn't have said it that way.
I'm not arguing. Understand. I happen to agree with the halacha that you're saying that's what the Rav holds, but it has nothing to do with the question about the mixing. We could have had them both going into the thing at the same time also. Where does the mixing help?
That's what they were saying. According to the Rav, maybe other Rishonim don't say this, but the Rav is saying that if they didn't mix, you need the 21 of kosher there first. It seems very much what the Rav is saying.
So what does he mean when he says, Avol derech hamshocha ein poisim Ad sheyarov mayim shuvim. Afilu mayim shuvim b'fnei atzmon shaloi nisarbu v'ksherim. That sounds to say the opposite of what you're saying.
That means if there were 19 of kosher of geshamim first, and then you did hamshach 21 after, then it's possible.
He says that it's not miler or moirid, the fact that the waters were murav.
But we're not talking murav. We're talking about that he poured it.
He says murav is not miler or moirid. I don't know what you want.
Where does he say it's not? Where does he say it's not Milo Morid?
It doesn't make any difference whether they're mixed or not mixed.
But he says it's talking when the kshem were there first.
That's
You're saying his kagon is meaningless?
Okay.
Right.
The kagon is just random numbers he put in. It doesn't mean it. They didn't choose those numbers specifically. That's what you're saying.
I don't know. You tell me what you're saying.
I'm saying when he put the case like that, he meant it specifically.
So what? Tell me what are the halachas I'm supposed to take out of this mission?
Okay, two things. If they mix together before they go into the mikvah, as long as the total that ends up is rov of the kasher, of the geshamim, then the mikvah is kasher. If you do it separately,
it doesn't make any difference.
If it didn't mix,
it doesn't make
the
any
kasher had to
difference
be there first. What?
It doesn't make any difference what was there beforehand.
What do you mean what was there beforehand? They're coming in mixed.
It was empty. It was empty.
Okay.
They're coming in mixed. If they're coming in mixed, then as long as the sum total, the rov is geshamim, it's fine. If it didn't come mixed, as long as the geshamim were there first and they're the rov, then it's fine. Two separate.
And what if they came in? What if they came in separately and the geshamim was there first?
That's what he's saying. If they came separately and geshamim were there first, then it's good.
And if they're so, what does the mixing do?
So if the sheuvim came first, and
It
was
can't
only
be Shuvah
19,
came first.
if
Shuvah
the
came first, then it
hamshacha,
puzzles. If Shuvah came first, so then it's already puzzled because you have Gimel Lugim. I'm Shuvah is puzzled. I
right?
don't need
Right,
it.
but it came with Hamshacha. But one second, but it came with
That's
Hamshacha. He said.
hamshacha. That 19 hamshacha is passes it if it came before the ksherim.
Okay, that could be. That could be.
That's what he's saying.
So no, so that needs a husband. That's a very big chiddush. What did it's still called sheuvim, and the taruvis helps for what?
What do you mean? The taruvis helps that it's not pure shuvim in there.
What does that mean?
Right.
It's a
If you
mix.
tell me that it's shuvim, then it's shuvim. If it's not shuvim, it's not shuvim.
It's a mix.
So, but you still have the sum total that enough to puzzle.
No, you don't. You have 19. 19's not.
You have Gimel Lugim that are coming before it. Okay, we'll see. There's such an idea, which is taka in the Paiskim, like you
If
say.
you do gimel lugim b'hamshacha beforehand, I don't know. Does that puzzle it?
We're gonna see. We're gonna see. But that's not with taruvis. My question was always about the taruvis,
Right.
not about hamshacha.
So
What does the taruvis have?
So Taruvis allows you to actually start a mikvah off with the tarovet already, and that's not going to puzzle it. Why, we don't know, but that's what it sounds like he's saying.
That could be. That we need a lot of help to explain that. Right? That's a problem. When I say that's a problem, means that needs to be explained. All right. I'll just, you know what? I don't know. We don't have so much time over here, but I was going to. Well, maybe we'll do this mission a little bit again next week if we remember. But I'll just read for you the halacha here in Shulchan Aruch, and here. Okay. Shashu shemshich kula. Oh, yesh rov me'akosher, then it's kosher. Okay. The halacha of the Mishnah then says the Ramah, not the Mechaber. Avol im himshich tchila mayim psulim, va'achar kach hevi aleim rov mayim ksherim, loy mahani. Here we have to see about the Taruvas part. I'm going to stop over this Ramah. If you would like, you can learn Sif Mendalid in Shulchan Aruch and be prepared for next week's, before we do this again. Okay, I guess we'll stop over here.
Can I ask a question before you go?
Yeah.
If you have Mayim She'uvim.
Before I stay. Yeah.
Okay. If you have Mayim She'uvim, besides Hamshacha, is there a way to neutralize it? To take off its Mayim, the Shem Mayim She'uvim?
We had that in earlier Mishnah. If you get enough of a geshamim to drive out the.
Yeah, but that's not Bimatahir. That gets it. That negates it. He's talking about the Bimatahir. There's only other way that I know of is if it goes into a mikveh, or you have neshika, you have a sheferes hanoid, you have some kind of attachment
to the mikveh. Before it gets into the mikveh. 3 feet. 3 feet away from the mikveh, you have a hole in the ground, 6 inches, and it rains. And let's say I take a cup of water and I pour it into the little pit. Then the rain comes and it's more water than that was in there. Does that neutralize it? That water is worth nothing at this point because it's not big enough for anything. But is it neutral water?
No. That's the case. If I have 10 so, and I put in Gimel Lugim Maim Shuvim.
You're putting it into this place which is ultimately going to be a mikvah. I'm just talking about a little pit in the ground over there.
And how is it going to get to the mikvah?
I didn't ask you. That's a different problem. I'll get it there some other way, but I want to know if I can neutralize it now beforehand. So it loses the Shem Mayim.
Not that I know.
Even al yidei hit arvut in zochalin. Is that
That's exactly the case. That's right. That's the case we had a few Mishnayos ago, that you have this thing with shuvim in it, and then you have rainwater that goes over it, So if we say that it went in the amount that would have been there, even though it didn't really wash it all out, then you could be matari.
Okay.
Sometimes you need to have milui v'od, and sometimes you have to, different cheshbonis, and that's some kind of way. But I think I call that a cheat, because it's not really, you're not really being matire. We're making it irrelevant, even though we know it's technically there. But it's not. It's not being matire.
Not true. Okay, thank you.
At least that's how I understand it.
Okay, that's fair enough. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Have a good night.
Good night.
Have a good afternoon, yes.
Good
Okay,
call.
bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.